Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be another travel diary. So this is the second in my return back to travel diaries after the whole pandemic. Obviously, I had to take a 2-year break for inevitable reasons, but I thought I'd bring them back because I really enjoyed filming these before and I know that you guys liked seeing them. So when I asked in, I think it was my weekly vlog, I mentioned bringing them back and I had quite a few of you say that you really wanted to see them. So here we are back. This is the second one and I genuinely can't believe that it has been a month since I filmed the last one. Like, I don't understand how a month has gone by. I feel like I filmed it yesterday. I feel like I only went to LA yesterday and it's just been a crazy little time, basically. So obviously the whole point of these travel diaries, if you haven't seen them before, if you have, you know the gist already. I talk through my last month's travel plans and then I tell you about this month's travel plans too. So kind of like me talking you through where I'm going, what I'm doing, any recommendations I've got for certain places, anything like that. And I'll try my best to leave like links or a list down below of things that I mentioned, so like any restaurants or whatever. So basically, last month, if you haven't already seen the travel diaries, I'll leave it up the top, but I headed to LA and more specifically Coachella Music Festival, which was unreal. Like, the whole time I was there, I was like, I feel like I need to pinch myself. I genuinely was so grateful to be there and I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity. And as I mentioned before, it was a very last minute plan. I bought someone's ticket that didn't want to go anymore and we basically booked and planned it all about 2 weeks before we left the country. So it was very, very last minute. It was... Let's start with LA because I feel like we need to talk about LA and then we'll get into Coachella. If you want to skip through to just hear about my May travel plans, I'll leave the timestamp down below because I'm going to waffle on about LA and Coachella and stuff for a little bit first. But LA, we got there at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I think it was. Got our car, so we rented a Mustang. Recommend a Mustang for the pictures and the cool girl aesthetic vibe. Like, it looks really cool to have one. It's nice to have a soft top. Practicality with suitcases, don't recommend, not gonna lie. Lauren did warn me of this because she's done it before, but you don't get much of a boot in a Mustang. So we could fit 1 big case, 2 little cases, and like the odd tote bag, but everything else, like the other big suitcase, had to go on the back seat. So it's fine if there's only 2 of you, but it's not the safest for like leaving the roof down. You have to keep putting the roof back up, which is a bit annoying, but I do recommend getting them because it looks really cool and it's really nice to drive a Mustang. Like, it was a bit of a bucket list for me, which is why we got it. And it was about, I think, $600 between us for having it for a whole week. So we had it for 8 days, which is a lot of money. Like, you can get cheaper ones. A lot of people rent Jeeps or like just various bigger cars for obvious reasons because of luggage. We probably should have rented a Jeep. In hindsight, but it's fine. It was a learning curve. I've done it. I had my hills moment driving down, listening to Unwritten with the roof off and just living my best life. Like, it was so good. So in LA, we stayed at the Line Hotel, which is a little bit far out. It's in Koreatown. And I think it worked out at about £300 for the few nights that we were there. The valet for the car was about $50 a night. Wasn't too expensive, to be honest. Like, you kind of have to... If you're in LA, because it's so big, you either spend a fortune on Ubers or you rent a car, and it's a bit more of a faff trying to like find places to park a car. So that was kind of a hassle, but not. And I do think it was better to have the car because it's just a bit easier than Uber. And Uber did get very expensive, which I'll get onto in a minute. But we stayed at the Line Hotel. It was great. The rooms are really lovely. The views are amazing. They've got like floor to ceiling, like whole wall windows that overlook the view, and it's so stunning. It just looks like LA out the window. Like, you've got the palm trees, you've got the buildings. It just looks really cool. And you can pay more to be on the opposite side to have a Hollywood sign view. We didn't do that because we didn't see the point, but it was a really lovely hotel. They have an Alfred's downstairs, which is a really nice little coffee place, and it was a really nice hotel. The only thing I will say is I think if I went back to LA, which me and James want to go back, and me and Lauren have obviously talked about going back too, but I think I would stay more in like West Hollywood, Beverly Hills kind of area, which is a little bit more expensive, but you're a bit more like in LA, whereas everywhere we went we kind of had to drive for like 30-40 minutes, which driving is fine. Lauren drove because she's driven there before. I am not confident with American road signs and stop signs, and it confused the life out of me, but I would try it in the future. For the few days that we were there, we tried to do as many touristy things as we could, but we were also working, so we had like the odd things to go to. Like, Lauren had a couple of press appointments, we had Revolve to go pick up our tickets for Revolve Festival, all that kind of thing. So we managed to, on the first day when we got there, we headed over to Venice Beach and had a little look around. I like walked up and down the beach, went to see the little skate park, and I think we got coffee, but I can't remember. And then we went to like a little place in Koreatown for dinner, but it was just like a random little place that we stumbled across and went in and just got like little picky bits for dinner. We did stay awake for about 28 hours, so we were absolutely exhausted, but we wanted to adjust to LA time really quickly. Then in the morning, we got up and we did Lauren's press appointment. We went around Beverly Hills. We did like a few different bits and pieces press-wise, which was quite time consuming because there was a lot of things to get done, but it was really nice because we just kind of potted around, had a little lunch, took some pictures, all that kind of thing. And then the day after that we did, what did we do the day after that? We picked up our Revolve tickets, we went to Malibu Pier, which is beautiful. Malibu Pier I highly recommend going to. We actually went to, speaking of like restaurants and stuff, we went to Malibu Farm, which is on like the front of the pier, so you've got like the Malibu Farm and then the pier. Really recommend if you want something yummy and a little bit healthier. Really nice as well because it's like overlooking the beach, you can see Malibu, it's just beautiful. And then we actually went for dinner at Elephante, which is Elephante, I can't remember what it's called, either or. Really nice pasta place, they have like pastas and pizzas and stuff. We got a bottle of wine and Lauren had the vodka pasta, which looked and sounded amazing. Apparently it's like one of their most recommended. It did have dairy in, so I couldn't have it because apparently the sauce is made with cream, but I got a garlic spaghetti bolognese kind of thing, which was really beautiful too. It's so yummy. And we went to Santa Monica Pier as well on the way back because they're not that far apart, and when you're coming like back into LA you have to go past it. So we went on there, went on a couple of the rides. They've got a little roller coaster which is about $11 each, which it's like a really old like rickety roller coaster, but it's quite cool because as you're going like round, it goes like around the Ferris wheel and like other rides, so you can see people and like wave at them. It was just, I don't know, it was really like wholesome, cute, like reminded me of being in a movie, to be honest. Like that's literally what the whole of LA reminded me of, just being in a movie. I do really want to go back and experience it more because I think we were there for such a short period of time that it would have been nice to kind of see more and do more and just experience LA lifestyle a little bit more, but obviously we had limited time and we did do a lot for saying we weren't there for long. So on our last day in LA, we then headed over to Runyon Canyon, which is a national park where so many places film like people sitting and talking on benches. Like it's kind of known as like a celebrity spot to just like see celebrities walking or running or like whatever. And we headed up there. The car park was closed, so we parked along the side of the road. I could not tell you for the life of me how the parking situation worked, but some man that was like walking his dog helped us, which is really lovely, and showed us where to park and told us where to like go and stuff. So we would recommend, we did the car, but I would say I recommend getting an Uber up there because it's probably easier. And you kind of go through like the massive gate. So if you go from the top, which is what's recommended, like going at the top gate, if you go in through the big gate, that's like the best place to go through, and then you walk down and around the corner and you can see the Hollywood sign. Not that close, apparently there's another viewpoint that's better, but it's nice to just go for like an early morning hike, see sunrise, and it's in the distance and it's beautiful. Like it looks really cool, and I personally really liked it. I thought it was a really good walk. There is like a path where you can go like down and round and back up on yourself, and I feel like if you came up the other path, then it might have been a closer Hollywood sign, but it's fine. I'll show you my picture here that I sent to my mum. You can see it like very, very small in the background. But it was really fun and I really liked it. And it was a nice little final morning before we drove to Palm Springs. So as you know, obviously Coachella is in Palm Springs. I would say staying more towards Indio is probably better because Palm Springs is about 40 minutes from actual Coachella, and Ubers were expensive and impossible. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. I know some people we were with had hotels where they had like shuttle buses and stuff, but we found that on one day we had like 17 Ubers that cancelled on us or something mental. Like it was craziness, like everyone just kept cancelling. Ubers were about 170 back from the festival in dollars. Getting to the festival was like 80, etc. But what we tried to do was like go over to like a party or something first and then go in, or like go to our friend's house and then go in or whatever. Yeah, the only thing I would say that was annoying was the Ubers. We stayed at a place called Caliente Tropics, which is a really small little hotel, very inexpensive. I think it was like $800 for the whole weekend, whereas everywhere else was like well over $1,000, $2,000. So we stayed there. It's next to the Lion Hotel, which was nice to go for like little drinks and stuff. There's a couple of Starbucks drive-thrus. We didn't really go into Palm Springs too much, apart from we went to a GHD breakfast thing where we walked into the lobby, and if you haven't seen my Instagram stories, we saw Justin freaking Bieber. Like I literally walked into the hotel lobby and Justin Bieber was in front of me and I was very starstruck. He's short, very good looking, and it completely shocked me because I was like, oh my god, like Justin Bieber has stood in front of us, this is mental. But that was a really beautiful hotel. So this was actually the view from the penthouse that GHD had, and it was stunning. But other than that, we didn't really stay in Palm Springs. We kind of were just going off to like different things. We did do Revolve Festival, didn't see any of the drama, sad to say. I know a lot of people will be expecting us to have seen the drama. Didn't see any drama. We got there quite early, got in, had a really good time, left, went to the festival, met a couple of girls and got an Uber with them because Ubers just were not picking up. And basically, it was a nice little time. It wasn't the busiest. I went to the Pandora Oasis, which was like a little tiny venue as well that was doing other bits. And then we headed into Coachella, obviously, every single day. Coachella was everything that I wanted it to be, and I would 1,000,000% do it again. I would 1,000,000% pay for VIP again. It was so much fun. And I had a lot of questions about like, is it Instagram versus reality and stuff? To be honest, no. Like, it literally is like everyone shows it on Instagram. The only thing I will say is a lot of people take their Instagram pictures out of Coachella. So like all the ones in the desert and stuff is not actually the festival. Like that's just kind of in Palm Springs, which as I've told a few people, they've been quite shocked by that, which I kind of thought everyone knew that, but that's like a separate thing. That's just driving into Palm Springs. But Coachella, the festival itself, obviously you've got the big wheel, and it was such a good festival. Like Harry Styles, when he brought out Shania Twain, I lost it. Like genuinely, I had like tears in my eyes. I was so drunk anyway, but I had tears. Like it was so, like, I have grown up listening to Shania Twain. My parents used to love her, and like I'm literally getting teary now. What's wrong with me? Like, I feel like that was a once in a lifetime thing to see her on stage, because she only really performs in Vegas now. And when he brought her out, I was like, oh my god, like I love Harry Styles, and now you brought her out, and like I can't cope. It was so good. But he was by far my best performance that I saw, and Swedish House Mafia was unbelievable. They came back after 10 years, they did a one-off gig, and it's like another once in a lifetime thing that we're never gonna get to experience again. It was just unbelievable, like it was so good. Kind of annoyed Kanye didn't come, but understandable with the rehab stuff, so kind of get it. The weekend was still really good as well. But it was such a fun weekend, and the reason I say that I would rather do VIP, like I wouldn't say I'd mind doing general, to be honest. The only thing I think with the general admission, which is the slightly cheaper ticket, is you can't drink like freely in the festival. It's very, very different to a UK festival. Like I don't know how to explain this in the best way to explain what I mean, but the general admission, you can only drink in like certain areas, so you can't just like walk around with a drink, which obviously in a UK festival you just get boozy and like walk around with drinks everywhere. Whereas VIP, you can have a drink in the whole area, and the VIP area is like, so that's like the edge of VIP, and the main stage is like here, so it's like very close. So we stood in VIP quite a lot to watch the main show, like the main stage. So that I think is one of the reasons I would do it again, and also it's a nicer little space to just sit and chill. But that being said, I don't think I'd mind being general. Like if I had a few drinks before at other parties, like drunk in the bar and then went and watched someone, like we didn't really drink while we were watching people, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And you couldn't take drinks out of VIP, but we kind of like smuggled them under our tops to get them out, because otherwise we'd get a drink, go towards the stage and be like, oh, gotta down it, and then go. And the drinks were very, very strong. They were like 90% vodka, so they were very strong. But it was unreal. And the one thing I will say is it was really like, it wasn't like an Instagram influencer parade. It was very much like anyone and everyone goes. So you've got people who are literally in like shorts and t-shirts, you've got people who are in like really over top festival stuff, you've got people who are kind of in the middle, you've got people in jeans and t-shirt. Like it was just a big mix of people, and there's like 100,000 people go to this festival. So the one thing I would say is don't feel like you can't go if you're not an influencer. Don't feel like you can't go because you're not like cool enough, which is one thing I was worried about. Like I felt so uncool and like such imposter syndrome when I was there, but then I kind of had to sit down with myself and be like, do you know what, Jess, like who cares? It's not a status thing. Like you don't have to look a certain way to be here, like you don't have to be anything other than who you are, and just have a good time. This is a once in a lifetime experience. So that's what I did, just had a good time and loved every second. But yeah, it was really, really good, and I would highly recommend for anyone to go. I think it is an amazing thing to experience. Let's get on to where I'm going in May, because I'm aware I've been talking for like 17 minutes at this point. I'm absolutely gonna have to edit this down. May is going to be a very exciting month again, and another bucket list. Like I cannot believe, I said at the beginning of this year, this would be my yes year. I would say yes to every opportunity that came my way, any trips that came up, anything that happened. Like I'm just gonna say yes to everything. Like, if a friend wants to see me and go to the beach for the day, yeah. If you want to go out and do something else, absolutely. Like, I am just saying yes to everything. So this one is a trip that has been in the making for a while. It's been talked about for quite a long time, but it's obviously COVID restricted. We couldn't go for a while, and it's actually a press trip with a tourist board, and I'm heading to Mauritius. I can't believe I'm going to Mauritius. A lot of people say it's kind of like a quieter, cheaper version of the Maldives, so very excited to go. I'm heading for, I think it's 7 days, and I'm not sure at the moment where we're staying or what the itinerary is because we haven't got it through yet. It's all very last minute when it comes to press trips, so I'm still waiting on all the finer details. But what I'm going to do is like give you all of that in the next video, the same as I have now. So talk you through where we went, what we did, where we stayed, etc. Because genuinely, I don't have a clue right now what any of those details are, and the planner in me that likes to know every single fine detail is really stressing out about that fact. But it's going to be really fun, and I'm really excited, and I'm going with 3 other girls and obviously the PR. 2 of the girls I've not met before. No, one of them I've met before and did a trip, but I don't think we really spoke. It was like a big trip. And then the other one I've never met. And then I'm also going with Jordan, who I went to Cyprus with, which is really lovely. So that's really fun and exciting. And then I also have a couple of like mini little staycations in the UK. So I'm heading up to Cambridge to stay in a place called the University Arms. We're having one night there. They're gonna give us a treatment. We're gonna have some dinner. And it means that me and James just get like a little night away and we can explore Cambridge and just like do all the cutesy little things. And to be honest, it's going to be quite a busy month in terms of like lots of little things happening, but I'm quite excited for that because then I've got quite a nice little couple of weeks at home before my June trips start, which there's so many things this year. Like, I'm so glad I've said yes to everything, but there is a lot of things happening, and I'm like, thank you because I'm so grateful, and I can't wait for all the adventures. But my goodness, my life is getting very chaotic and very busy, which is why I am always filming, and the weekly vlogs took a while to come back, and sometimes the schedule goes a little bit AWOL, but it's because I'm living life, and I'm trying desperately to keep the schedule going and to get back on track with that. So if you've got any recommendations of videos you want, let me know down below and I can get them done for you. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed hearing all about LA. If you've got any questions about LA or Coachella, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed hearing about May and what's coming up. I think, to be honest, these videos are kind of me winging it. I don't really know what they're going to be or what they're going to end up like, but I kind of like the fact that I can sit down and like talk you through the last trip and then just tell you where I'm going next month, because it's nice to kind of give you that debrief afterwards rather than just giving you the full information before I go and then going and not giving you like a summary of what I did or anything. So I quite like having it in this kind of format. Let me know if you like it. If you don't, we can always change things up a little bit around here. But yeah, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more from me, and I'll see you in my next video. And I'll leave all the LA, Coachella vlogs, etc. down below for you to check them out too. Bye, guys.